Hello everybody, this is Flat Cap Cafe Racer. I'm here with my two buddies, Rapid Roy and Mr. Bill.
Hey everybody.
We're at the Mecum Motorcycle Auction at South Point Casino and Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're going to be bringing you, we're going to show you all the bikes here today in part one. In part two, we're going to kind of pick out our favorites and tell you why we think they are our favorites. I'll be right, Roy will be wrong, and so will Bill. But that's okay. Please join us in this, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun here today. Right?
Yes. Yes.
You be more enthusiastic than that. Yes.
Yes.
I just wanted to thank Mr. Bill and Roy for their help in making this video. I also wanted to give out a shout out to a couple of subscribers I saw at the auction. Drayton Webb, a subscriber from a couple years ago, and Alex and his wife from Downshift Motorcycle Service and Design out in Los Angeles. He's a new subscriber. We're going to take turns presenting our 10 picks, with me presenting one, followed by Roy, then Bill until we get all 10. Unfortunately, at the time of this video, the auction had not published what each of the bikes sold for, but if they do, I'll reference it in the video or somewhere in the description, so let's go. And what we're going to do is we're going to show you our top 10 motorcycles that if we had to pick from this bunch of motorcycles, which one we'd pick. It's not the total list, because some of the motorcycles Mr. Roy would pick they're not here. But all the bikes here, we're going to show you our top 10 in no particular order. This is one of my other bikes. It's one of my top 10. It's F4. It's 1972 CB500, and it's a four-piper. And they made a 550, right, I think 1974. It's a little bit more powerful. But one of the reasons why this is one of my bikes, even though cosmetically it's not really great, but it's a good bike for me because one of my best friends owned one of these. And I used to beat the snot at him at the drag strip and every place else. And he finally, in 1974, he finally made it a cafe racer. And when you were racing out in Denver, Colorado, and he cut underneath me and I let him have it, and he kept pushing me till I fell down. Then he pulled over to the side of the track, raised up his helmet and was laughing at me.
Turbo bike, this one's the Kawasaki. This is F232 1985 GPZ 750 Turbo. And if I had to add to my collection, this would probably be one of probably the best addition to my 650 Turbo. I think Kawasaki made this bike for 3 years. This was probably the last year that they made it. It's a 4-cylinder, fuel-injected 750. It was actually faster than my Honda Turbo. Air-cooled. I didn't like it as much at the time. I don't think it's quite as refined, maybe not as good of a sport tourer, but probably more exciting being faster.
Oh, look what I just found. F219.1 1985 Yamaha RZ350 Kenny Roberts edition with the Kenny Roberts signature on the bullet fairing there. Beautiful bike. I think I would like this better than the 400 Daytona. Definitely. Yeah, this is an awesome bike. Yeah, I'll take this one. Beautiful too. Look at that yellow and black. Water cooled. Yeah. A lot of fun, I'll bet. Yep. I think those are like built-in chambers in the factory. Yeah, I want this one.
My second bike is another in the Mezzo collection, and it's kind of a bike that I really liked back in the days. This is from 1989. It's a 1989 Honda GP Tourist Trophy out of the Mezzo collection, S53. Now, from the right side, exhaust side of the bike, they just really look nice. This one's got the seat cowl on it, so it's one of the things. And his bikes are in really good cosmetic shape. Okay. From the left side, you can see all the kind of the little ugly ass plumbing there. I'm not too fond of that, but the rest of the bike, I'd only show it from the right side.
1979 Honda CBX, 6-cylinder, 1047 cc's, 103 horsepower. I had one back in the day. I bought a brand new 79 as well in silver. This is F46 at the show. It's 5-speed, air-cooled, inline 6-cylinder. This one is likely not restored. 16,000 miles, looks pretty good for that. Very fast bike at the time. Smooth, turbine-like, heavy, spindly forks, handled adequately, but that's all. But really something to cruise around on. You really felt special on it.
42, 1979 Honda CBX 1000. This is one of the motorcycles that I drooled for as a youngster. I still find them beautiful and fascinating. The sound, whether you have a stock exhaust or a modified 6 into 2 or 6 into 6 or 6 into 3 or whatever combination, they all sound awesome. It's just a screamer bike, and you know, they have their foibles, but that's all correctable. You can see on this one where he's got the extra brace there for the forks. It's got the nice, really good looking engine guards, and just, it's a real good piece. And so this will be one of my 10.
Now the name of my channel is Flat Cap Cafe Racer, so I guess it's a good idea that one of the bikes, a couple of the bikes I picked might be cafe racers. And this is what this one is. This is F170. It's a 1974 Rickman Honda Cafe Racer 750. And when these came out, I really wanted a 750 Honda bad with this setup. They make this one right next to it. It's a green one, but it's based with a 900 Kawasaki engine in it. But if you look at it, it fits really well. Everything looks nice. He didn't change the exhaust pipes. He's got clip-ons on it. But oh my, if I was 16 years old and had this one, I've been riding it around the world. Now I could ride something like this, yeah, maybe 30 minutes.
And I've always liked these, like so many folks. S75, it's a 72 H2 Mach 4, which is the 750. And this is the color I like. Looks to be restored. Yes. Of course, very fast. Didn't handle too well. Kind of got a bad reputation for the handling. This is the one they call the Widowmaker. I guess pretty scary at times. Not much of a tourer and not too much fun unless you're exploiting the throttle. But kind of always had an appeal to me. I always liked them.
The Suzuki GT750 W310 74. Beautiful condition. It's got the Higgs Speeds chambers. Yeah, this is a beautiful example. I always liked the water buffaloes, but you know, for in the day, in comparison to the other 750s of the day, this one was pretty docile. But you know, that's okay, and now it's okay. But it's just a beautiful bike. It's going to sound awesome with the Higgs Speeds chambers. It's going to even be doubly sound awesome. And this is a bike I would be tickled to death to own and ride.
My fourth pick of the bike, it's S185. It's a 1972 Harley Davidson XRT 750 road racer. One of my heroes growing up, Cal Rayborn, used to ride one of these.
I believe it. That belongs to my son.
Does it really?
Yeah.
And, oh,
got.
Tell me a little bit about it then.
Well, I don't really know that much about it. You know, he's never ridden. It's always something he wanted. He bought it, you know, some time ago. We got 2 XRs and a KR too. But yeah, so we're going different directions in our life, so it's time to start selling some of these things.
Yeah. Well, just talking to the gentleman, his son owns his bike. What a sweetie! I could probably ride 2 or 3 races without crashing it, but it'd be a shame to crash this. Cal Rayborn used to ride the wheels off of these things, and they weren't powerful bikes. They didn't stop that well or do anything, but really, really nice. This is one of my top 10 bikes.
Picked this bike, never that crazy about the 500 turbo, 1982, and this is F233.1, but it's the predecessor to my 650 turbo that I have and bought new in '83. Both bikes they only made for 1 year. Quite a few more of these were made, I think about 5,400 versus the 1,777 or so of the 650 turbos. This is probably a school bike. It was donated to Votech schools because it's close to 0 miles, 2.2 miles. But if I ever wanted to add this bike to a collection, this is one of the best ones I've seen. Doesn't look like it's been taken apart as a school bike. Pretty questionable as to whether there's any kind of title or any legal way to have a title for this bike. They were not supposed to be titled if it is in fact a school bike. I don't think it's as color choice is as pretty as the 650, and it's not as fast as the 650, and it's also heavier, but still it was the first Honda turbo.
All right, this is an Excelsior Hendrickson, an original, you know, from way back in the day. And this is really nice. F164, 1925, Henderson Deluxe. So it's 100 years old, folks. And this is some machine. I would want this. I would ride this. I don't care if people say I'm crazy to ride it. I would ride this. And you know, it's got a nice enclosed engine, so you don't have to worry about all the oil splattering out all over you and wearing out your valves and things. So this is pretty amazing. I imagine it's rather loud with this open exhaust, but I think it's pretty much how they made them in the day. So this will definitely be on my top 10 list.
We're getting kind of close to the end of my bikes here, and you know, if I didn't have a couple Kawasaki triples in this, then I wouldn't be doing my job here. This is T271's 1970 Kawasaki Mach 3. It's a red and white one. When I first were buying motorcycles, they had it in a 69, I think, was a charcoal gray, and then the 70 was they had the red and white. There's some charcoal gray. It's really kind of unique, but this is a very, very nice example of one. I don't think I've seen one on a showroom that even looked this nice. Okay, but this is one I'd really like to have. Put Mr. Bill on it, and he'd fall off as soon as he hit the gas. And it'd be fun watching slide off the seat.
That's what that chrome rail on the back is for, to catch yourself as your Superman.
Yeah. So this is a 1970 Kawasaki Mach 3, red and white. Oh yeah.
This is F389, 1970 Maico 400. It's a motocross bike. Beautiful bike. So crude, but effective. Love that cylinder. Obviously this one's restored, and they're estimating it to sell for $15,000 to $17,000. Fiberglass tank, like a lot of the Bultacos. Very thin. Pretty basic. Powerful, no doubt. I've never ridden this particular type, but I did have a friend that had a 400. I'm not sure the year, perhaps a 72, that I may have run up and down the block on. Anyway, pretty neat too.
This is the Honda SL125 W198. It's a 72. And this is one of the motorcycles that I've always thought would be nice to have, especially as a youngster. I used to drool over this. Even when I had a 350 and a 750, I still was drawn back to the Set 175, and you know, I think the SL is probably the most practical for how I would ride it. But I actually liked the CL as well. But I think if I was going to actually get a 175, I would want it to be the SL, and this is a beautiful, beautiful restoration, and it's just so nice. I'd take it out for a lot of fun. I'd get it dirty, I really would.
One of my other bikes here is it's T211. It's a 2006 Pulse Smart replica, I guess. It's a green frame. There's several of them here. To me, this one kind of looked the best of them. It's another kind of cafe racer. It's one of the bikes that I would probably love to have when I was 20 years younger, but I'd still love to have this. With its green frame, you can't get much better than that. You can't get much better than the green frame. So this is it, the Paul Smart. It's a 2006, and this is one of my picks, T211.
This is big brother to my 125 Elsinore that sits in my living room. This is the 73 CR250M, the first Elsinore motocross bike. And it came in this silver with the green stripe for 2 years, 73 and 74. This one's a 73. If I remember right, 214 pounds, so it was very light for a 250 class. It was very successful. Right out of the showroom, you could go win races on it. Same thing as my 125. I think they made more of these than my 125 Elsinore. But definitely an easy bike to ride fast. Really beautiful look.
It's F175. I'm sorry, it's F157, 1975 Kawasaki S3 400. It's a 400cc triple, two-stroke. Very, very clean model here. And you know, I want a 500, but there really aren't any nice 500s here. There's a ton of 750s, and they're gorgeous. But the 750s always scared me because they come up so easy. So I think the 400 is something that I could ride and wang the throttle and not worry about it too much. I think I have a lot of fun on this. So the 400 Kawasaki triple would definitely be on my list.
This is one of my bikes. This is a John Player. It's T218. It's a 1974 John Player Norton. It's the 850. And I remember seeing this when I went to Advanced Individual Training in Fort Gordon, Georgia. This had just came out, and it was so unique and stuff, and it just appealed to me a lot back then. And you know, it's one of those bikes that, like I say, when you come to these bike shows, you see bikes that you wish you'd had at the time. This is one I wish I had had at the time, probably more than today, but I'd still be one of my picks. It's really a sweet looking bike. I've seen better examples of it, but John Player Norton, 1974.
T293, it's a 74 Suzuki TM125 motocross bike called the Challenger. Kind of interested in this bike because it's the same year as my 74 Honda CR125M, which was the first year 125 Elsinore. And this was a really nice bike. I got a friend that had one of these way back, and good power, good engine, Probably didn't handle as good as the Elsinore, and it certainly wasn't as popular or historically significant. But nevertheless, fun bike, lightweight, good racer for someone starting out, inexpensive compared to the European bikes at the time.
I found a nice looking 500. I can't believe it. F233, 1974 Kawasaki H1 500 Mach 3. Very clean example, looks like a Survivor. Doesn't say anything about restoration. So it's in excellent condition for a Survivor. And I like this color. It's like the 400 we just looked at. So, you know, yeah, I think I'd take a chance on riding this one, owning this one, having some fun with it. It's not as polished, you know, it's a little dingy there on the engine, but, you know, that's okay, because I'm going to ride it anyway. It'll just be license plated and ready to go and insured, and take it out and have some fun.
It's a Ducati, and it's S30. It's a 1978 Ducati 900 SS. Super sport. I always kind of liked these. You never did really see them around where. I only saw them in magazines and brochures, and nobody ever had a Ducati around where I lived growing up. But this is a good example of one I would like to have today. If I had these 10 bikes, I could probably ride one every week or so, and especially the cafe racers, and that'd probably be enough for me, but it might be a little tough to ride, but
The beauty and the sound will make up for it.
This is T82. It's a 1971 Hodaka Super Rat. I have to mention this because I was always kind of wanting one of these when I started riding dirt bikes. It's a Japanese bike, very lightweight, real simple, reliable, and would still be a really fun ride. And it's got the unmistakable chrome tank. I won't say it was super competitive, but from a fun factor standpoint, can't really ask for more.
I found a Jota, a Laverda 1000 Jota, or Jota, or however they pronounce it. F362 79 Laverda Jota 1000. Awesome. This is the bike. This is the one. Yeah. Not in great shape as far as how clean the engine is, but that could be cleaned up. Actually looks like garage dust. But yeah, this is the one, and it's a clip-on style handlebar, but it's a handlebar. So for me, I could change it. I could put the real handlebars on it, because I'm not laying down on my motorcycle. I lay down in bed for sleeping and other fun things. But yeah, definitely this is the one I would take home. Yes, indeed. Yeah. How many miles? 29,000, so it has been ridden. That's good. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Yeah, I want to get a chrome header though, but send that out and have it chromed. Yeah, I would take this bike. This is definitely on the top 10 list.
Yeah. Roy says this is pretty. You're pretty. Yeah, this is, and it's a black Vincent Black Shadow S176. And one of the things, it's got one of the most beautiful engines, I think, that's been made. It's a very powerful bike. It sounds good. It looks good, and it has the big odometer, the speedometer. I'm sorry, this huge. And I've seen, I think one of the guys from Top Gear, Richard. I think Richard owns one of these. And he was racing the train one time with his Vincent Black Shadow. I could take this one out to the salt flats and have fun with that.
Take note of the double disc.
I mean double
double drums.
Yeah, it is. It's got double drums, but Who worries about stopping? This is S176, 1955 Vincent Black Shadow.
This is not an exotic bike by any means, but it's a restored 71 SL125 Motorsport Honda, and it's pretty nice restoration. I can't see a whole lot wrong with it, or not original, but I just kind of like these bikes because I like little bikes that I kind of grew up with and got to ride around the trails. So you don't see too many that were restored this nicely, or certainly in this this pretty condition.
You were looking at this one pretty heavy yesterday from the bleachers, looking at it.
It was this one or the SL100. I like both of them. This one has a larger front wheel, 21 inch. The 100 has a 19 inch. But you know, I had a friend that had one of these and rode it a bit back in the day. So it was a fun bike. Not powerful, but extremely reliable.
E72 Kawasaki H2 4-cylinder 1000 cc, made by Alan Millyard. It is a custom-made engine where he splits these cases and puts this stuff back together like it came out of the factory. It's incredible. Always wanted one of his bikes. He makes some really cool stuff. And it's got the 4-into-2 chambers, which is pretty interesting. It's everything about this bike. The color of the paint is not the perfect correct color, but it's not the perfect correct bike either. It is what it is. It's an Alan Millyard, and the man's a genius. And I'd love to have this one right here. You betcha.
You know, one of the tributes to this bike, this is F203. And one of the tributes to this bike is people walk by and just saying it's kind of an off-color Kawasaki 1972 Kawasaki Mach 4. But really what it is if you see the 4 cylinders down there, yep, it's an Alan Millyard Special. It's one of the, how many they've made? 4, I think, that they made in this, Alan made in this. So this is really, I really like the 1972 Kawasaki anyway. But the fact that Alan Millyard did this one, you can see it's a Mach 4 1000, and it's really cool that he's got it. He's even got the instruments up here. So this one goes on the block today. I mean, no, it goes on the block Friday, I'm sorry. Today is Thursday. But it's just a beautiful bike. It's got expansion chambers on it. And it looks like it's got it's 4-into-2 expansion chambers on it. So this is one of my top 10. This is one of the bikes I'd get. It's out of a collection, the Mecum collection.
This is one of my favorite bikes here. I've always lusted after this bike. This is a 125 Pursang. Number here is S94, 1972. Beautiful restoration. I don't know an awful lot about Bultacos, but they were very competitive. This particular bike, the 125, was I think rated at 25.4 horsepower. Actually a little bit more than my Elsinore. It's heavier though. I think it was 209 pounds, whereas my Elsinore is about 180 pounds. Beautiful bike, beautiful restoration. Fiberglass tank on this. Again, it's really crude but effective, simple in design, and pretty as well.
This is even better. I found a 75 Kawasaki H2 750 Mach 4 S58. This would be the one that I would prefer over the gold one. I like this purple. I like the blue and I like the red, but I haven't found one. Doesn't mean it's not here, it's just that I haven't found it. There's so many bikes. But this is a really nice looking example. It's got a clean looking engine. It's been totally restored inside and out. So yeah, I would want to take this 750 as opposed to that other one that I looked at. Very nice, beautiful bike.
Well, this wraps up part one. I think you see that there's a little bit of overlap between a couple of bikes. In fact, we all agreed on the Millyard Special, it being one of our favorite bikes that we'd have to have if it was available to us. The next part, in part two, we're going to bring you some sort of unusual, weird-looking bikes, and it'll be a lot shorter video. Join me and my friends at Flat Cap Cafe Racer for riding and racing. Please subscribe.